Good afternoon. The Department of English has organized this webinar on effective communication for the students of 2nd BCom of our college. The principal of our college, Dr. Sudarshan Kumar, and our guest, Mr. Stany D'Souza, have joined us online. So we shall start this program now. At the outset, I request my colleague, Mr. Roshan D'Souza, to welcome everyone and also to introduce our resource person.
It gives me immense pleasure in welcoming all of you for the webinar on effective communication. First and foremost, I like to welcome the President, who is energetic and thoughtful, the Principal, Dr. Sudarshan Kumar. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
I am profusely overjoyed to take the opportunity to welcome and to introduce our chief guest of the webinar, Mr. Stany D'Souza. He is the principal of Rotary PU College. He did his Master of Arts in St. Aloysius College, Autonomous, Mangalore. He did his B.Ed in Prasanna College of Education, Ujire. He worked as an English lecturer in Alvas PU College, Moodabidri for 10 years. He conducted orientation programs for 10th standard and PUC students on various topics. He participated as delegate in state, national, and international level seminars. He is a man of virtue and simplicity. He is the living idiom of a man who happened to be born at the right time and at the right place. Yes, he is with us today to speak on the topic of effective communication. A warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I welcome the HOD of English Department, Dr. Padmaja Shetty, for this webinar. Welcome you, madam.
Thank you.
Finally, I welcome all the students. I am sure you all will feel enriched with knowledge after completion of the webinar. I welcome you all once again to the webinar and hope that you all will have a great time ahead. Thank you.
I now request the principal of our college, Dr. Sudarshan Kumar, to give the presidential remarks.
Good afternoon, everybody. Mr. Stany D'Souza, Principal, Rotary PU College, Moodabidri. Dr. Padmaja Shetty, HOD Department of English, dear colleagues and students. The Department of English organized a useful program on effective communication. Communication is a part and parcel of everyone's life. All individuals need to communicate to share their knowledge and information with others. However, the degree of its effectiveness depends upon your communication skills. The better are your communication skills, the better a person understands you. The purposes of communication could be many, but the most important part is to understand how to communicate effectively. Communication is a two-way process and therefore requires complete understanding among the communicators. This requirement can be fulfilled with effective communication skills. The general forms of communication are oral or verbal communication and written communication. Effective communication skills are now an essential professional requirement and are considered vital to convert your performance into success. Whether it be your professional life or your discourses, communication plays an indispensable role in all walks of life. With these few words, I express my gratitude to the resource person, Mr. Stany D'Souza, Principal, Rotary PU College, Moodabidri, who will enrich our students regarding effective communication. Thank you, one and all.
Now we come to the main part of this program, a session on effective communication by Mr. Stany D'Souza. I request Mr. Stany D'Souza to kindly begin the session.
Okay. very respective Dr. Sudarshan, Dr. Padmaja, my dear friend and colleague Roshan D'Souza, and all my dear students. There were two people, and they happened to be the monks. And one day they were returning from their preaching from one of the villages. As they were walking, they happened to hear a woman cry with a baby in her arms. And these two monks, one is Esme and the second one is Nomi. Remember the names? Esme and Nomi, the two monks. They hear a woman cry and a kid who is crying. Now the Esme runs near the woman where she was struggling to cross the river from one shore to the other. So Esme lifts her, carries her, and drops on the other side of the river. And they move on their journey. Say for a half an hour after their journey, Nomi suddenly questions Esme, saying that, you know what? Our master has told us not to speak, but you spoke. Our master told not to speak to a woman, but you spoke. Our master asked or instructed us not to touch a woman, but you carried her. And suddenly Esme thinks for a while and he responds. He says, yes, whatever you say is right. But I have dropped her before half an hour. But it is you who is still carrying her. I repeat, Esme tells that I have dropped her before half an hour, but it is you who is still carrying her. My dear students, if you look at this fable, a beautiful fable, and what is the imperative of this fable in this context today, as we are talking about effective communication? And I have lots of regard for Davala College. And I know the students who come to the portals of Davala Degree Institution, the students who come from the remote villages, and every student who comes into the institutions, they think of the fact that would the institution fetch me a job? And every time, whenever the teachers, the educators instruct us, the very common fact that they emphasize is we need to communicate in a better way. We need to develop effective communication. So you must have heard many a times the words communication. And today we are talking about effective communication. And the fable which I have just shared with you will help us to understand our state of mind. The two monks who were returning from a village, Esme and Nomi, if you look at the state of mind they were in, Esme, he understood the situation, acted, and forgot. But it is Nomi who did not react to the situation at the time of the actual need, but rather his mind was, wavering in and out. The mind was wavering between the past events and the future excitements. And today, as degree students of Davala College, I know everyone wants to get into job opportunities and everyone wants to have this communication skills developed. But the only hitch or the hindrance or the barrier is that our background. We have made up our mind saying that I come from a Kannada medium background. My family is not educated well. So the environment that I am in is not suitable for me to learn these communication skills. And that is why today let us deconstruct the theory that you have in your mind, that you come from a background where you are not able to speak in English. And that is why I want you, every one of us, every one of you, to deconstruct the past. And today I am speaking to you. If ever you know what Roshan sir is, if his background, we all come from Kannada medium backgrounds. But today we have become English teachers. Today we can communicate in English. The fact remains where we have deconstructed the theory that we come from a background where there is no English environment. So today I request every student in this webinar, pause a minute and understand oneself and question ourselves, would I give every time the same answer that my background was not good, I come from a Kannada medium, or I do not have a suitable environment for this communication? So before understanding what is effective communication, let us also understand how communication helps in our day-to-day activities. So like Nomi, the monk who carried things in his mind, let us not carry things in our mind. So this is the introductory part that I wanted to give, preparing our mindsets for this presentation. Most of you may have thought that what could be the session is all about. But let us make it very simple. Let us try to analyze how I can improvise my way of communication. As Dr. Sudarshan has rightly pointed out in his introductory part, communication helps in our walk of life, every walk of life. Today we emphasize English as a medium of instruction, English as a communicative language. I hope everyone is ready for the presentation. I want every one of you to remove the luggages that you have in your mind and let us stay tuned for 1 hour or 1 hour 15 minutes. And let us analyze how we can move ahead and improvise ourselves. What are the techniques that I can evolve myself to implement and instill in my day-to-day activities so that I become a good communicator? So, are you ready? All of you. You can on your audio and say yes. Are you ready? No? Nobody is ready? Okay. Oh, okay, okay. The teachers have instructed you not to on the audio and video. Anyhow, yes, yes, you are all ready. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Okay, students, let us, yes, 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 beautiful. Right. We shall move. Okay. Okay. Now, if you look at this, the slide, every day, in every way, my English is getting better and better. This is a positive note with all the students. Every day, in every way, my English is getting better and better. As I told you in the introductory part, we all come from the remote places wherein we are not exposed to an environment where there is English speaking happening. But we cannot give that as a reason. We need to strive hard and we need to move ahead and think how I can create that environment and study English. And hope when you talk about effective communication, it is of course the English communication, because we are all well versed in our mother tongues, in our vernacular languages, but it is the need of the hour for every student, for every person to enhance his skill in English communication. So let us have this thought in our mind. Every day, in every way, my English is getting better and better. Okay, this is a positive note that we have started with. Now, if you look at the reasons, I told you the background, the social strata that we are living in, the environment that we are in. The first is, we being born and brought up in India use native languages in our day-to-day life. So English is not our native language. Let us diagnose the problem. Why we have problems with the communication? One is English is not our mother tongue, or it is not our vernacular language. Point number two, we belong to the family of native language speakers. So if you go to foreign countries, if you go to America, everybody would speak in English because their native language is English. You ask them to speak in Kannada, you ask them to speak in Tulu or any other mother tongues that we use here. No, only Indians have these language proficiencies. Third point, every time you speak, vocabulary or slang and grammar worries us. Yes or no? So what happens is, when you try to speak in English, then suddenly we think of grammar, we think of slangs that we use, we think of vocabulary. Now this vocabulary plays an important role in communication. Now what happens is, we do not get exact word at the exact point. You have a thought in your mind, and when you convert that thought into words, you do not get that exact words, because we have lack of vocabulary, what we call shabdakosha, dictionary in our mind. This leads to the fear of making mistakes. Now I know, where for the past 10 years I have spent time with the youngsters, PU students, degree students, and I have learned that why today's youngsters do not, success. Some become successful, but some have a lot of problem with success. And I am very sure with this point, the word called fear. I have seen that whenever a task is given to a student, a responsibility is given to a student, or asked to perform or participate in the competition, the students do not have that positive approach towards the tasks because the fear of failure. We are not trying to attempt in our life anything because the fear of failure that we have. Before attempting the task, the fear that we have in us demotivate us, demotivate us for doing such things. So let us break that chain and come out of it, come out of fear. Now, I told you the students have fear of failure. Now, as we have discussed the points earlier, why do we fear to speak in English? One is we think we will commit mistakes because we do not have enough vocabulary. We do not have proper grammatical structures in our mind. We do not know exactly what slang that we have to use. Maybe the pronunciation problem. Maybe the fear of shyness. So we think that we may commit mistakes, so we fear to attempt a task. I remember wherein a blind boy, born blind boy asks his dad on his dining table, "Dad, can I become a baseball player? Dad, can I become a baseball player?" Now, what would be the reply from a father? What would be a reply from a father? Because he knows the fact that his son is born blind. And the son is asking dad, "Dad, can I become a baseball player?" Now, many of you play cricket, right? Baseball, similar to that, right? Baseball is similar to a cricket. Okay. Just to understand, to play cricket, you need to have eyesight, right? Now, this boy is asking, "Father, can I play baseball?" Now, look at the urge, the desire that the blind boy had, though he knew that he had limitations, but he is asking his dad, "Can I play baseball?" And I asked you, what would be the reply from father? Now, father replies, "My dear son, you will never know unless you try. You will never know unless you try." And this boy tries, he plays, and in his final year in PUC, second PUC, he becomes the best baseball player. He becomes the best baseball player. And the same boy, after his results, he asks his dad, "Dad, can I become a physician or doctor?" Now, you know the fact that the son is born blind. What would be the answer from the father? And father replies with the same lines. Father says, "My dear son, you will never know unless you try." Remember these words. You will never know unless you try. You will never know unless you try. And this boy tries, takes the help of his classmates, teachers, mentors, and he becomes the first blind doctor in the world. Many may know his name, Dr. David Hartman. Dr. David Hartman is the first blind physician in the world. Now, students, let me just translate that thing to our mindset. I'm talking about fear of attempting anything because we think that we may fail in the task. But why can't we give a try? You will never know unless you try. Why can't we try? So this aspect we need to build in our mind. So this is the next part that I wanted to do. Now, pushing us further to use the local language to such an extent that even the teaching of English in schools and colleges are translated to regional languages. Now, these are the barriers that we have. Even the teacher tries to, convey the concept from the subject lesson in our vernacular language, maybe Kannada language, so that students will not understand it. So I'm just diagnosing what are the problems or that we face. Now that is the final sentence. Hence, English for use. Hence, English for us is a foreign language. Now everybody has to accept today here. English is not our native language. It is a foreign language. So we are learning English as a foreign language. It is not in our genes. It is not in our, from the birth. If you look at the whole environment in the household, that every person in the house, the environment, everybody speak the same language, our mother tongue, and that is why the child is able to learn the mother tongue. Now issues. What are the issues for this, to become a successful communicator? First is, everybody knows, poor vocabulary. I have told you. I'm talking about vocabulary. Vocabulary is called a diction. That is why the word dictionary has come into existence. Padagalu, what we talk about. Shabdagalu, what we talk about. Take for example in our vernacular languages, Kannada language or any other languages. What makes us very fluent in our mother tongue? Whenever our friends, relatives, parents ask us a question in our vernacular language, do you think and then reply? No. You automatically speak one after the other because your thought process converts into words. But when it comes to English, the first and foremost hurdle is that you think of a grammar. There is no enough vocabulary in our mind, and we are trying to think in our vernacular language and speak in English. Now that is the very dangerous thing that we do. That is why we do not try to attempt to speak in English, because we think in Kannada, or we think in Tulu, or Konkani, or Bari, and we try to translate that thought which we have thought in our vernacular language, try to speak in English. So the structure of every language changes. So that is why the first and foremost issue that we have in our communication is the poor vocabulary. So what to do with this? We shall see after diagnosing the problem, what are the remedies. In that slides, we'll see how to improvise our vocabulary. We are unable to express our thoughts. Why? See, it is interlinked with one another. All the points, we do not have enough vocabulary, so we cannot express our thoughts. I told you, what is communication? Communication is nothing but, in simple language, as I have understood, converting thoughts into words. Convert your emotions into words. Convert your ideas, feelings into words. So what we need? We need the amount of vocabulary in our mind so that we can speak fluently our thought processes into words. Keep it in mind. Then fear, reputation at stake. Now this is the third point. The issue with the communication in English is, I told you just now, I told you, fear, or what people would think, what people may look at me if I commit errors, wrong, construct error sentences. So these are the inbuilt fear that we have when we come to spoken English. A lack of preparation. Now many of you may wonder how a Kannada medium student can become teachers. You just have a survey in and around Moodabidri. How many English teachers come from English medium? How many English teachers come from Kannada medium? Most of the English teachers are Kannada medium students. So, what the teacher has done, he or she has prepared herself. Preparation is the key for any success in life. fumbling, stammering, one more problem that we have, again associated with the fear, again associated with the, poor vocabulary and fear, that we fumble for words. Many a times you must have heard people talking, yes, like that, because they do not get exact words to put forth the exact feeling. Okay, so these are the issues that we have. Lack of proper guidance. Now, yes, as students, now you are very fortunate to be students of Davala Degree College, and I appreciate the principal, the HOD, and your English department for arranging such a wonderful programs to guide the students. This is very important, to channelize students' strengths into a proper way. So guidance is very important. So you are getting, and you are all lucky champs. Now, pessimism. This is very important. What is this pessimism? Is negative thinking. Negative thinking. Now you know what is the opposite of a pessimism is optimism. So optimistic approach and pessimistic approach we say, or sakaratmaka or ranatmaka chintane. So this negative thoughts and positive thoughts. So it's very important to have positive thoughts when it comes to spoken part of English. Poor grammar, of course, grammar plays an important role. But for beginners, those who try to speak in English in the beginning, they need not worry about grammar, because without the grammar we can communicate, we can make things understand. So you have to understand first, build up the positive attitude so that you are able to study the communication. Hesitation. Many of us, today's youth, today's younger generation is moving away from success, road of success, because hesitation. I told you, fear of failure. We have the fear of failure, hesitation, what others may think. I told you, fear, reputation at stake. Many youngsters do not give a try, and that is why I gave you the small instance. You will never know unless you try. So how you can come out of this hesitation? Start with small things. You may wonder how we have come up, how we have become English teachers. It is from small things. That is why we say, well begun is half done. So in a smaller way, we have started learning English, speaking in English. And I still remember my initial days of learning English, when all others used to speak in vernacular language. Our teachers made us very, very clear that we have to use English as medium of instruction in the campus, wherein all my friends used to speak in their vernacular language, Kannada and Tulu. I tried speaking in English, simple sentences, not correct, grammatically correct sentences. Everybody would laugh at me. Everybody would, call me Gandhi. Okay, he is speaking in English. Some I remember in Mahavira College, where I did my degree, many students called me as Shashi Tharoor. Shashi Tharoor is always trolled for his the genius that he has on vocabulary, English speaking. So whenever a program is conducted, I was the one who always raised my hand. Okay, I will do the anchoring part, MC part. Okay, I will do welcoming part. I will do vote of thanks. I will introduce the guest speaker. I will arrange the program. It is who I took the initiative in a smaller way, in small functions, and today we have come to this stage. So I am asking every degree student, another few years, you get into a job opportunity. And what is very imperative today is, don't wait till the last moment, because it is the interview which gives you the food. It is the interview which gives you the job, not your academics, not your marks, not extra qualification, but in the interview, how you communicate, how you negotiate, how you show your readiness to work, how you present yourself, how you try to speak your strengths. Do not concentrate on your weaknesses. How you speak on your opportunities. Now, yesterday, Sunday, I had an orientation program for youth in Alangar. And I had met a bunch of youth, 80 to 90 youth, all degree students and postgraduates. Now, there, the present need is getting into the job opportunities. But what they lack is the communication. And that also English as a communicative language. That is why second PUC BCom degree students, I appeal and I suggest, do not wait for a right moment. Make this moment a right. Don't wait for a right moment that, okay, one day I will start speaking in English, sir. One day I will start learning effective communication. Today is the time when you have enough time, because online classes you have plenty of time inside the house with your mobiles. There are a lot of good, English course, online courses. Listen to English, watch English movies, read English news. Okay, so this is the need of the hour. How to come out of it? Only with smaller things. Only with the smaller things. So we shall come out of this hesitation. Lack of fluency, that is what I am trying to speak. Lack of fluency is because that you do not have the above said requisites, the above said important points. So that is why we lack fluency. There is no continuity in our spoken part of English. Now, everybody believes the fact that language is the lifeblood of any human activity. Sir has already told. It is a medium of expression. Words have magical power, and they can determine a person's success or failure in communication. Keep this in mind, okay? So, language is a lifeblood of any human activity, any language for that matter. But today we are emphasizing English language. Second thing is, it's a medium of expression, English language, and words have the magical power. People will come to you, people will select you on the basis of how you try to speak, how you put things in a proper way. And one's success determines on one's proficiency on the spoken part. Then you know that we are living in a global world, the global aspect, we are all global citizens. The commercialization, language skills play a decisive role in the administrative and commercial activities. Everybody knows it. English language is considered as the common medium of communication in majority of all the countries. You know it. Hence, one's proficiency in English has become one of the key to success in today's scenario. Okay, so one's proficiency, people look at you. Now you must have experienced every teacher's lesson. So whom do we like the most? We like the teacher who communicates, who is very audible, who is very, very, supportive. Maybe the way he or she conducts classes makes the concept understand very easily. How a teacher can make the concept understand easily is only way is the communication. The way the teacher communicates with the students is very important. So we like the teachers who make the concept very easy. Many a times we have seen it. We like them more. So what fact is very important there is the effective communication. And we like the people, we like to hear them, we like to listen, we like to hear them, the people who talk clearly, precisely, all those things. So now let us come to this language. What is this language? Language is a system. Now what do you mean by system? Commerce students, BCom students must understand a system means it is organized. which is governed by rules and regulations. So we have to understand English language is a system, and there is definite structure to every language. Yes or no? There is a definite structure to every language. Now, I know today's topic is effective communication. Unless we make communication proper, the effectiveness will follow the suit. The effectiveness of communication is based on the way you communicate. So that is why I am talking about English is a system which is organized and it has a definite structure. So you cannot just, try to speak without meaning it. That is the first point. The structure of English language gives us an authentic description of speech sounds, word structure, word order, sentence pattern, and vocabulary and script. So it begins with the speech, the sound, word structure, word order, sentence pattern. So that is why it is a system. The study of this structure enables us to maintain the essential clarity and confidence in our listening, speaking, reading, and writing activities. I know that you must have heard that there are 4 skills of learning any languages, any language. Can you, recall them? The 4 skills of learning a language. They are shortly called LSRW, right? Listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills. Now, most of you may wonder, and I have seen in the college campus, I always, ask in the beginning of the classes that how many come from English medium and how many come from Kannada medium. Many would raise. I know that 95% students who come from a English medium school background, and there are 10 to 15% students who come from Kannada medium background. But if you closely observe them, the students who have spent first standard to 10th standard plus 2 years kindergarten KG classes, say 12 years, they were in a learning perspective wherein there was English language involved. That is why we call it an English medium. So in the school, the very medium that they used was English to instruct the students. And I do not find any, hardly few, but not more students who can speak on any given topic fluently without the script, without the preparation. Now, if you have a language and you have studied 12 years in English medium school, you must be acquainted with the features or at least basic communication skills. But many students lack the spoken part of it. Of course, they are very good in studies. And I went on understanding this. Kannada medium students can speak better than the English medium students in some cases. And I always understand why this, the yawning gap between the students who have spent their entire 12 years in English medium and today after completing 10th standard or PUC, they're not able to speak in English. The very reason I understood was every student is studying in an unscientific method. Now I told you there are 4 skills of learning a language: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Out of 4 language, listening, speaking, reading, and writing, what happens, a student is, and I can bet and I can challenge you today, though we come from Kannada medium, we all know the fact that every child learns its own mother tongue before entering the school building. You agree with me? Every child learns his or her mother tongue before entering the school building, say KG. So you need to have 5 years, you need to be 5 years or 6 years old to join KG classes. Now, in these 5 years, the child learns his mother tongue before going to school. The child did not attend any grammar classes, did not attend any schooling. Any instructor came to house and gave classes to learn the mother tongue. No, without going to school the child has learnt the mother tongue, but in spite of being in English medium school for 10 years, students still feel hesitant, still have problems in communicative English. Now what is, why there is this problem? And I told you that how we have studied English. We have studied English in an unscientific method. And every child has studied mother tongue. You and me, we have studied our mother tongue in a scientific way. Now, what is this scientific method of learning a language? An unscientific method of learning a language. The scientific method of learning a language, yes, of course, based on again these 4 skills called listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So what the child did in the environment, in the house, the child listened the same words, same sentences, same vocabulary again and again, again and again by all the members of the family, father, mother, relatives, siblings, anybody who visited the house. Everybody spoke the same language and the child listened. Though it is very infant, it listened and listened and listened. Over the time, the very next stage, the child started imitating the same word, what it heard. So that is called speaking. So how we learnt our mother tongue? We listened first, then we spoke. Then if we want to excel in our mother tongue, we write and read, other things are there. But what we did with English, as soon as the child is admitted to a college, a school, kindergarten or first standard, every teacher focused on the writing skill. You know the alphabet, you know the capital letters, small letter, the cursive letters, the style of writing. So the imperative, the importance is given to child's writing skills, not the listening skills. The second part is that every child is made to read all the rhymes that you know. The teacher reads, the child repeats. The teacher reads, the child repeats. And we try to by heart those lines. Then the teacher is asked, the teacher asks the student to speak or, listen later part. So what has happened? If you look at listening, speaking, reading and writing 4 skills, every child, when it learned the mother tongue, it used the scientific method of listening first, speaking second. When it comes to English learning perspective, every child in the school environment learned writing, then reading, then went on listening and speaking. So that is what I call it as a unscientific method of learning. Now what to do? Now we cannot change it. We are into degree. Another few years we get into job opportunities. So how to develop that? What we have not done. So it is the time. It is the time for you. I told you, make the time right. Start today. We have been thinking or learning English, speaking in English, but today it is the time to actually start speaking in English. And we may conduct a lot of orientation programs and webinars on effective communication, dear students, unless and until every student in the webinar makes up his mind, yes, chalo, I can start from today. Makes, and the urge, the zeal, the thirst for learning language should begin from you. That is why we say in English, you can take the horse to the water. We can take the horse to the water. It is left to the horse to drink or not to drink. Yes or no? To drink or not to drink the water. So it is everybody who is sitting in front of this mobile phones or your laptops, your gadgets. It is the inner, it is the urge, it is the thirst, it is the zeal, the kichu, what we say in Kannada. It has to begin here with everybody. Yes, I have to start. And this is I have done in my personal life. I have done it. I have started in my degree. I have started learning English in degree. You are all in degree students. You are all degree students, and today it is the right time. You can also become a perfect English speaker. And I'm not talking about having that pronunciation and using jargons and slangs and making hi-fi English where the audience doesn't understand. No, I'm not talking about that English. Let us learn, let us make our language effective with the correct English. We need not adopt all the other accents. Accents are different style of speaking. And there is no BBC News English. There is no TV9 English. There is no Republic TV English. No, there is only perfect English. There is only correct English, right? So let us learn to communicate and let us make our thoughts very clear to the audience. That is the very essence of every communication. So the effectiveness of communication lies in the way that you try to make your audience understand what you are trying to say. That's it. The effectiveness is that. So let us all make up today, and we have understood the issues, we have understood the problems, we have diagnosed the problem. Now the thing is, we have to take treatment. When you go for a checkup, the doctor diagnoses and instructs you to get into all types of tests. Now once the test results are ready, the doctor gives you medicines, right? Now this is the time to, let's see, okay, now when it comes to communication, if you look at this pie chart, this is very, very effective one type of communication. Okay, it is called visual communication. There are different types of communication, as sir pointed out in the beginning, that we have verbal, we have non-verbal, we have visual communication. There are three types of communication: verbal, non-verbal, and visual communication. And this pie chart comes in visual communication, which is very effective one. Now let us see how do the effectiveness of our communication lies. Of course, words only 10%. Tone and tuning, the way you try to use the pitch, intonation, and stress on some words, okay, your modulation in your voice, they play 30% in your effectiveness of communication, and 60%, of course, the body language, because the body communicates, right? So that is why automatically I'll tell you body language will, you will get that body language, you will get that tone and tuning only when you have this 10% words in you. So though in communication, words play only 10% of it, but they play a decisive role in communication, because when you have the hold on the language, when you have confidence on the language, automatically your body language changes. The way you can use your tone, pitch, intonation, you can modulate them. You understand my point? So the first 10% is very important. So why we give importance today? I am not giving importance to body language. You have to stand straight, and you should not put your hands in the pockets, and you should not bow, you should not lean, and all those things, because that will automatically come into picture. I am not talking about your tone variations, how you have to speak. I am just today working on how we need to improvise our verbal communication. Remember, verbal communication. What do you mean by verbal communication? Which verbal communication? Which has words in it. So words play 10%. Words play 10%, but that is the major part in communication. So that is why let us focus on it. To learn communication, what do we need to do? Now, we have diagnosed the problem, and I told you, of course, the topic is effective communication. Now, unless and until we make communication a proper one, the effectiveness will follow the suit. So let's see what we need to do. First is, I want every student, degree student, to pay attention to these slides. Now, we know the problem. I need not explain, but I explained it. Everybody knew the problem with your English language. But many a times what happens is we do not get the remedies. We do not know how to overcome it. So the first part is inner urge to communicate in English, the desire. I challenge you. You make up your mind today, and you see the changes in you within 10 to 15 days. And I'll give you some techniques how to improvise your vocabulary, how to speak and all. First thing is the desire to learn English. I was the one, when I saw, I still pay tribute and homage to my guru, Professor T.K. Mohan, and Dawala College knows Professor T.K. Mohan. He was my mentor, economics lecturer, and who has given me today's stand. Today, what I am, today, how I speak in English, it's all because of my professor, my guru, my mentor, T.K. Mohan sir. Is no more today, but I know the way that he has motivated me to take up challenges in life, the way he has motivated me to speak in English. Though he knew the fact that I come from an English Kannada medium background, he has molded me, inspired me to speak in English, to commit errors, to move forward, and he has instilled in me the desire to learn anything in life. But today we are focusing on learning a language. So, my dear students, have the inner urge to communicate in English. Yes, today I shall only practice English. Today, today onwards, I shall read only English newspaper. Any piece of work that you see in English, you read it. Of course, you need not read every day's newspaper. Any bundle, you can take any English newspaper from any bundle, any art, any paper that he has that is English. You just read it and you see the changes. Today onwards, you see, I will. Today onwards, I will just watch English news. You get two-way benefit. One is you get general knowledge, you get news, and the second thing is you will improvise, because listening is very important part. That is what we talked about, LSRW skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Listening is the primemost skill of learning any language. Listen English news. If ever you have time, watch English movies, watch English cartoons, so you will improvise. So inner urge, number one. This is very important. Ready to fall down at times, commit mistakes. I remember the story of Albert Einstein, one of the great scientists that we have in our history. When he became the professor of one of the universities in London, he was asked to furnish a list of his immediate requirements to for his stay in the quarters. He was staying in a university quarters, wherein he was asked to give a list of things that he needed the most. And the first item that he wrote in the list is dustbin. What he wrote? He wrote the dustbin. And everybody was shocked to see this. A great scientist, a Nobel laureate, asking a dustbin, and is giving a priority for a dustbin in his life. So people forgot that thought. After his service in this university, he was asked, he was felicitated in the program, and he was asked the same question. Dr. Einstein, you had given the list of immediate requirements, and the first item was dustbin. Can you elaborate on this? Can you just explain to us? And he said smilingly, I do commit errors, you know. I repeat, he said smilingly that I do commit errors, you know. Whatever his rank is, however he is grateful, however he is successful, everybody commits error. So as beginners today, degree students, why can't we fall sometimes? Why can't we commit errors? And I'll give you a few examples how to learn English now. And I know that by this webinar you may get inspiration, motivated, and some techniques, but unless and until you practice them, you are not going to become a successful speakers. The first and foremost is practice. Practice and practice. Say for example, you want to learn a bicycle. Now many of you degree students may know how to ride a bicycle, bicycling. Now say for example Stany, and I am Stany Lobo, not Stany D'Souza. Say for example Stany Lobo is taking you a seminar or a webinar on how to ride a bicycle, a theory classes for a month. And finally after the course you are given a certificate and given a bicycle, and asked you to ride on the ground. You will surely fall down and break your limbs. What is needed there is practical approach. You have to take the bicycle, go to the ground, balance it, pedal it, adjust, fall down, get up, try to balance, fall down, and therein you learn how to ride a bicycle. You need a practical approach. Say for example you want to swim. I cannot take a certificate course, theory class on how to flap your hands and move forward, keep your shoulders high, flap your legs. No. And finally after 30 days you are asked to go to a swimming pool and you are thrown into the water. End up your life, right? So what is the practical approach? You have to go to the waters, take somebody's help, take some aids, helping things, and you have to try to swim there practically. In the same way, in English also, you have to do it practically, speak, commit errors, fall down, get up. Let us learn from Albert Einstein. Next, potential to face humiliation, criticism. This is the one thing that I faced more in my life, and today I enjoy what I am. The criticisms, the people ridicule you, they mock at you, they criticize you, the way you speak, the way you commit errors, the way you use the slangs and the pronunciation. It's very important for all of us to receive criticisms in a positive way, and therein make those criticism a stepping stone for your success. That is very important. Facing the humiliation. Ready to talk like a fool, talk a lot. Ready to talk like a fool. Yes, of course. You want to speak in English simply with everybody. No matter what they reply, you speak. So ready to be a fool. Faithfulness for the task, punctuality. Now today, I know that everybody may think, yes sir, I will start from today, at least in small ways. But Tomorrow when you get up, you don't remember what you heard today. The punctuality, I call it a consistency. What is consistency? Consistency, continuity. Consistency is the only one yardstick to measure your progress. So have that consistency in life, in any things that you take up. But for English learners, to make your English effective one, to have this 10% of word spoken part of English, have this punctuality in your life. Be bold and get rid of shyness. See, I told you many a times you are asked to come to the stage and deliver a speech. And I have done in my degree classes, wherein I was asked to, give a speech allocation competition, pick and speak competition. And I go and, start with a lot of energy. A very good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. Today, on behalf of Humanities Association, I am here to speak on the topic public distribution, something like that. Then suddenly blank. Then again you start from the beginning. A very good morning to you. So what happens is, you may stuck one day, you may come out of the stage, then next time also you have to try, and slowly the shyness will move away. You will build up your confidence. You have to start and you have to commit mistakes, like how you learn to ride a bicycle. Imagine entire world is dead when you speak in English. Imagine entire world is dead when you speak in English. This is very important. When I go to the stage, or today when I speak to you, we have a very learned Dr. Sudarshan, Dr. Madam, we have lecturer Roshan sir, we have other colleagues, other participants. But what I, as a resource person today, I think they do not know anything. Now, whoever sitting with me today in this webinar, they do not know anything. I know everything. It's not an egoistic approach. It is not making myself, very great, but to build up that confidence. Yes, of course, I have prepared a very good slides. I have prepared for this effective communication. So let me give the 100%, right? So whoever there in front of me, you have to think that the imagine entire world is dead when you speak in English. It's a very optimistic approach that we have. Make short and correct sentences. Many a times, what we speak in Kannada or Tulu or any other vernacular languages to our classmates, teachers, come, let's go. One sentence. Come, let's go to the library. That is one sentence. We shall have lunch. That's one sentence. Is principal there? Is a question. Start building short, correct sentences, and that sentences will become one day a very coherent paragraph. One day you can deliver big speeches in front of the audience. So this is what desire, mistakes, criticisms, becoming full, punctuality, get rid of shyness, and you have to think that entire world is dead in front of you. Then make some. Then last one, listen while others speak. This is very important, and I told you the very guru that I was trained by, my guru, Professor T.K. Mohan sir. Every time he went to the stage, every time he was on the podium, every time he was in the class, I used to give 100% attentiveness. Listen the way he speaks. Listen the words that he uses. I told you in the beginning, the words have magical power. The words have the magical power. You can make everybody, great. So I used to listen to him. So very important, listen while. I do listen lot of English channels, particularly this Republic TV. I don't like the anchor, Arnab Goswami. But anyhow, but I like the way he uses the vocabulary, the phrases, the way he speaks, the way he conducts the debates. I like the way he talks in English, not the way he tries to synthesize two groups. No. Anyhow, what I'm trying to say, these are the small things that we have been doing, and we try to learn every day. So these are the things I was talking about, verbal, right? So the 10% verb, the principal sir has already messaged in the platform that any participants have questions, they can pose a question, and as I finish my presentation, I can also answer them. Now, verbal communication, vary your tone, pitch, and rate of pitch. That will come automatically when you have hold on the language. Eye contact, anyhow, this is very important in front of the audience. Remain focused, show that you are paying attention, remain focused, and that becomes very effective one. Look at the eyes of the person that you talk. Be emphatic, encouraging, and respectful. Respect the audience when you speak or people you meet. All that you do in the presence of another communicates, right? It is the people you need. You need people to talk to. Next, listen to the spoken and unspoken message. Now, there is what is called unspoken message. It is that sometimes the questions that the speaker poses, maybe the facial expressions, the unspoken message, what is trying to tell us. So this is very important. So finally, the smile, powerful symbol of your cooperation. Okay. Then how to go about. I have another 10 minutes, sir. I have another 10 minutes.
Yes, yes, sir, you may continue.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Now, how to give a approach to this learning perspective? Now, take an active approach to learning new vocabulary. Now, the very fundamentals of learning English, the 10% of your communication, verbal communication, only based on the vocabulary, the words. So, say for example, if you find 5 words a day, 6 days a week, you will learn about 140 new words a month. 10 words a day would bring you over than 280 new words a month. It makes a big difference as you move on. Make it possible. Have that consistency in learning. Make up your mind. Yes, I will learn every day 5 or 10 words. Yes, I will learn 10 words, 15 words every day before I sleep. The words, you need not go to the dictionary and find how many. The words that you hear, the words you read anywhere in the environment, take up that word, and how to do it, I will tell you. Approach new words by subject, things connected to your hobbies or to your interests. Now, particularly the day-to-day activities, how you talk to people, use those. Do this in a way. Think of a word you know in your language. Say your mother tongue, your local language, any vernacular language. Think of a word. Look it up in your dictionary. You have Kannada English dictionary, or you may know that word in English also. Look at in the dictionary. When you find the English word, write it down on the left side of your vocabulary note. It's very important. That is, I have come up with a lot of vocabularies. I have, learned these methods, and I have got that vocabulary learning process. In the middle of page, write down if the word is a noun, a verb, or adjective, etc., so that you will know how to use the word. So these are all grammatical aspects, whether the word is a noun or adjective or a verb or adverb, you know that, right? Write it down. Look the word up in the English dictionary. English dictionary. Earlier you saw there is a small English dictionary, Oxford mini dictionary, which is for 120 rupees, pocket dictionary. Carry it in your bag every day. I have made it very compulsion for all the students whenever I go, wherever I go, to have this one small pocket mini Oxford dictionary, which has every word in the world. Carry it. It is not a big bulky one to carry. You can keep it in your bag. Whenever you come across your subjects, when you do not understand a particular word, go back to that word, understand the word, use it in a day-to-day life. That's it. Write the English definition of that right side of the page, or not the in the next page. The definition of that word. Copy a sentence from the dictionary. This will help you learn how to use the word correctly. Now, every word has a meaning and a sentence. How to use that word. Copy that sentence and read it. Read it and try to have same similar type of other sentences in your day-to-day activities. Maybe with your friend. They may laugh at you, but you do not, because the consistency, because that is you who wanted to see yourself as a successful person, as a communicator, as an effective communicator. Practice reading the sentence again and again, and naturally it becomes a practice. Practice that sentence again and again, and you will come up with beautiful sentences. And that is why these are the things that we have. um, any other questions that you have? And I know that I have not touched upon your body language and tone, because I know that it's very imperative that we need to concentrate on spoken part of English. Then we can move on. Okay, anyhow, now the stage is perfectly set for the questions. If students have, questions, madam, we can proceed.
Okay, students have not posted any question in the chat box.
Okay,
Still, if
yeah,
students can have any question, you can ask.
you can
You
ask
switch on your
verbally.
audio. Yes,
Yes.
switch on your audio and ask your questions. Stany sir has given us some time for discussion, question answer session. So I request the participants, any participant, if you have any question, please ask the question.
Okay, student seems to be, I do not know, happy or very happy or confused the way that I have put forth. I have not taken big slides because I thought the simple way to communicate for this communication session, to take up some live examples and to just to give food for thought for every student to ponder on, to move on with their communicative skills. Hope the session is useful. Maybe one some few points that students have taken from this session and try to improvise, and they can become big and great communicators in life.
Yes, sir, it's been really a very inspirational talk on communication. Very effective in inspiring students to at least start speaking in English. Since we have no questions from the participants, I think we will come to the end of this program.
Yes, ma'am.
At the end, I request again Shri Roshan D'Souza to propose the vote of thanks.
I like to thank the president of the webinar, the principal, Dr. Sudarshan Kumar, for his presidential address and providing immense support to make this webinar successful. Thank you, sir. I extend my gratitude to our honorable chief guest, Mr.Stany Lobo, principal of Rotary PU College, Moodabidri. Thank you for inspiring and encouraging our students with your informative talk. Thank you, sir. I thank the HOD of English Department, Dr. Padmaja Shetty, for systematically planning and organizing an edifying webinar. Thank you, madam.
Okay, thank you.
I thank all the students for actively participating and patiently listening. Thank you very much, students. Thank you.
Okay, so we shall end this webinar. I request all the participating students to submit the feedback form.
Yes, of course, ma'am. It's a request from my side. As we all know that every day is a learning